It's been a week from hell for one of the most high-profile figures in the legal world. Imagine waking up to find out you owe $1 million in sanctions, only to turn around a few days later and find out you've been kicked out of one of the most powerful jobs in the country. This isn't a rumor. This is the reality currently facing Alina Habba. In the span of just a few days, the walls have closed in from Florida to New Jersey, leaving a trail of voided orders and stunned supporters. But why is this happening all at once? The answer lies in a failed legal loophole that just backfired in a spectacular way. The $1 million mistake. Let's start with the money, because that's the part that hurts immediately. The 11th Circuit Court of Appeals didn't just frown upon her recent legal maneuvers in Florida. They handed down a crushing verdict. They upheld a sanction against her totaling $1 million. The court explicitly labeled the case as being brought in bad faith. This isn't just a slap on the wrist. For an attorney, a bad faith finding is a stain on your reputation. But a 7-figure fine is a career-altering financial blow. It signaled that the courts are no longer willing to tolerate legal gamesmanship. But as bad as that was, it turned out to be just the appetizer for the main course of disaster waiting for her in the Northeast. Bounced from New Jersey. Just a couple of days after Thanksgiving, breaking news shattered the holiday calm. The 3rd Circuit Court of Appeals, sitting in New Jersey, officially bounced Alina Habba from her position as the U.S. Attorney for New Jersey. She is out. The court found that her appointment was completely improper. The administration tried to use the Vacancy Reform Act to slide her into the role, but the judges weren't buying it. They looked at the timeline, they looked at the law, and they ruled that you can't just bypass the rules to install your preferred candidate. This was a decision looming since oral arguments in October, which went terribly for her team. But the finality of this ruling has sent shockwaves through the legal community. The end run exposed. So how did they try to get her in, and why did it fail so miserably? It comes down to a maneuver that the court essentially called a trick. The law states that when a U.S. attorney leaves, the first assistant already in the office takes over. But Habba wasn't in the office. To get around this, the administration, working with Pam Bondi, tried to perform a little none-around the statute. They appointed her as an assistant U.S. attorney, effectively 5 minutes before making her the boss, pretending she was next in line. They also tried to claim she was a special attorney with delegated powers. The 3rd Circuit took one look at this clumsy attempt to bypass the U.S. Constitution's Appointments Clause and shut it down. They ruled that you cannot manufacture a first assistant just to fill a vacancy. A bipartisan rejection. Now, you might hear whispers that this was a political hit job, but the facts tell a completely different story. This wasn't a partisan attack. It was a unanimous rejection by a panel of judges with very different backgrounds. The panel included Judge Restrepo, a Biden appointee, Judge Brooks Smith, a Reagan appointee, and Judge Michael Fisher, a Bush appointee. You had judges appointed by Republicans and Democrats agreeing on one thing. This appointment was illegal. Judge Fisher, writing for the group, emphasized that U.S. attorney offices are critical for public safety and require stability, not political games. They noted that the citizens of New Jersey deserve clarity, not a leader whose authority is questionable. The domino effect. This ruling doesn't just mean she loses her office key, it creates a legal black hole. The court's decision implies that almost everything she touched in her administrative capacity is now effectively void. While the court clarified that indictments against individual criminal defendants, like random drug cases, won't be thrown out, her specific administrative orders and delegable powers are null and void. It's a messy cleanup on aisle 5. And she isn't alone. This marks the second high-profile Trump attorney to be effectively fired in the last week, following Judge Curry canning Lindsay Halligan in Virginia for similar reasons. It's becoming a pattern. The courts are systematically dismantling these interim appointments. The Supreme Court gamble. With the lower courts slamming the door, there is only one move left on the board: an emergency appeal to the United States Supreme Court. The strategy now relies on the highest court in the land stepping in to save the day. They will have to decide whether to block this order and let her stay while the legal battle continues, or let the firing stand. If they refuse to block the order, it confirms that even the Supreme Court believes the administration violated the Vacancy Reform Act. We are going to know very soon whether the justices are willing to entertain this interpretation of the law or if they will let the appellate ruling stand. What do you think? Will the Supreme Court step in, or is this truly the end of the road? Let me know in the comments below.